All messages, that's mine, says all messages. So good morning. We are working on the Creative Grids August box. So it's a trip around the world from Carol Thaleen, maybe, or yeah, I'm not quite sure. You know me and pronunciations. So we're working on this now. She has you cutting all your squares up individually and sewing them. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. So we are doing this strip piecing. But I did not realize, I just cut up the fabric, did not realize that it was directional fabric. And I have a box opening. You can go back on another live where I opened this. So when I put the strips together and I started cutting them, I realized that we have directional fabric. So now it all makes sense why she had them cut all individually and you sew all the squares. Good morning. So let me say some good morning, Sherry and Michelle. We have Regina, Melanie, Catherine, and Eva. So my tips and tricks only work if it's non-directional fabric, or as we say, tossed fabric. I'm okay with it. It's not going to bother me. This I'm giving, most likely it's going to be given away anyway. So for me, I don't like the directional fabric. So for me, it's not a big deal. I may keep this myself because it's beautiful. It's very springy and I'm in like Christmas mode right now. And the way I streamlined it, it really went by really quick and was a quick sew. I may do this with like some holiday fabric possibly. So when you look at this, I understand that my fabric, that some of it's tossed and some of it's directional, is going in different places. It's okay. I'm okay with it because this was such a big, quick sew. So I'm going to give you my tips and tricks. So first of all, I made strip sets. And what I did was strip sets of 5. So I had 5 of the width of fabric that they call for. I can't give you the measurements. It's not my pattern. So whatever the width of fabric, you know, whatever the square size you decide to make, I did strip sets. And I did 5, again, 5 rows. So I will show you. Actually, I will show you up here. We're going to move you. I'm going to move you to the design wall. It's not sewn up yet. I'm just in the process of doing it. Here we are. So as you can see, I have it. Here we go. I have it somewhat done. Place. This was the one strip set. So this strip set is fabric 1, background 2, background, no. 1, background 2, background 3. Okay? So I went ahead, if you don't mind how things are falling and you have this box and you want to make this, this is how I did it. 1, background 2, background 3. I made a 22 inch, I basically cut it in half. It was maybe a 22 inch strip set of that, okay. Then I did the next strip set, I'll go right here so you could see it, is, I'll go this way though. 2, background 1, background 5. Again, you need a full width of fabric strip set. So that's like a half width of fabric strip set. You need a full one of this one. And then 1, background 5. So this is 1, where are we? 1, background 5, background 4. I needed a whole width of fabric strip set. And then I did, where are my 5? Okay, here it is. 5, background 4, background 3. I need a full strip set once again. And then I did 4, where's 4? Hello, 4. 4, background 5, no. Where am I? 4, 3, and 2. Yeah, 4, background 3, background 2. And I needed another full strip set of that. So that's how I did it. That's what I figured out. What I'm doing now is sewing this. I laid out the top And what I did was went ahead with my strip sets and just went off of what I had. So I didn't have to do the whole quilt. Because what the top is, I'm going to call it quadrant 1. If you make 2 of quadrant 1, right, 2 of them, you take 1 for the top and then you just rotate the bottom. And then it'll just go. And then you have your center line, which is here. This is how I put together. I've put Trip Around the World many different ways. Years ago when I took a class, I did it where you did the whole thing and then you pulled off where the seam was and you would open and then you would find you'd make like a giant tube. And then you would pop the seams on where the giant tube lays. But this way, I figured out with what they gave me, that's how I've figured it out. Hi, Rusty Harvest. How are you? And good morning, Deb. So, again, this is just a basic trip around the world using 5 colors and 1 background fabric. Okay? So that's all I'm doing. Oh, trip around the world. That's how I figured it out. Again, because I'm moving this. Because I didn't realize it was, I don't know why. I guess I wasn't really paying attention. And it's okay, though. I'm all right with it. I'm not unpicking. I'm not doing any of that. I absolutely love how easy and streamlined this went, doing it this way. But I really think I'd like to do a Christmas one. Because it was a fast, so I mean, I cut this fabric. I got up this morning. I was up early. So I got up this early. Actually, not as early as 2, but I did get up at 4:30, 4:35. Let's say about 5. I got up here. And it's 7 right now. And I cut the fabric, sewed the strip sets together, cut the segments, and put that together on the design wall and then made my strips, full strips for the bottom half. So I think it's a quick sew. Let's see. Is the background double the yardage? Yes. So so 1 through 4 is the same yardage. 5 is just a wee bit more yardage. And then the background is, well, the background is quadruple, 4 times. Like, let's say fabric 1 is a certain amount. The background was times 4 of that. If that makes sense. I've been up since 5, 6 your time. Oh, I have to put on my glasses. I'm struggling here. Let me. I see partially Panda. Good morning, Panda. Do you have a pet turtle? No, I don't have a pet turtle. What I have is sewing machines, and this is a quilting channel. So that is my note. So if you're doing this with me, and you do not care how the directional fabric hits, I just gave you how I made the strip sets to make this work. I spent time to actually figure out the strip sets, how much we needed. So that's why I told you, like, the first strip set, you only need a half a strip set, and then all the other ones is a full width of fabric. So here we are. So I'm going to open up my first one. That's not my first one. That's my last one. Let's see. Flip it over. Let's see if I... Okay, so this is my first row because we're doing this by rows. So I'm just double checking with what I have up there. So I have my first row here. And I pressed everything so that it lays flat. I pressed everything towards the print. What's the pattern name? So this comes from Creative Grids. It's called Trip Around the Block. I'm sorry, it's not Trip Around the World. Trip Around the Block. And it's a Carol Thielen or Thalen pattern. I guess you can go to quiltnotes.com. I'm not sure. Creative Grids may be selling some of these boxes. They often sell any of their leftover boxes, so you can always go and call them up or email them. I am just coming in and doing this. So when I did the strip sets, okay, there's still little pieces that need to be added. And I should show you that. Let me show you that. So I showed you how to make the strip sets. Before I do this, let me show you the in-between. I'm going to move the camera again. You ready? So when I have my strip set, this is my strip set. I put it here, okay? And I place it. Because on the pattern, it tells you exactly how to place it. And then when I take the same strip set, because you make this strip set, it looks like this. I take the same strip set, and then I turn it around and bring it to the other end. So every strip set, right, you take it this way, but you flip it the other way. Then you have some pieces in the center. You can't make them a strip set because it changes all the time. So what we have to do is add a white. And yes, I could have added a white to this strip set and a white to this strip set, but it would have been too long for me to cut it apart. I thought of that. So it's easier for me just to add. So I add the white, and then it tells you to add this number on there. The same thing. So basically, this middle, this 1, 2, 3 rows change. If you notice, they change. So these are all strip sets here. These are all strip sets here. These 3 you have to put in individually, okay, in order for it to work. So do you see what I mean? And you're just taking the individual, well, this one's sewn on there, the individual pieces. It'll make sense once you have this pattern and you see. Because once you do the strip set, you'll see when you lay it out, oh, I need a background square here. Oh, I need a number, I don't know what number that is, 4 maybe, 3, I don't remember. A number 4 here. Oh, I need a blank one here, but I need 2 blanks at the end. Sometimes you have to go to the end, so you're gonna go end and end, blank. Whoops. And then you got that one that just falls on its own. And we just figure it out. Nope. Here it goes. What you always want to remember is you're going on a diagonal. So you're always trying to go on a diagonal. So here is the first V. You have a V here. You have like a V, an upside down V. That's how you're doing this. All right. Hi, Christina. So I am going to go ahead and move this around again. Oh, I see I see a seal, a clapping seal. Hi, Melanie. Thank you for the clapping seal. It does look pretty and a snap. It really is. It really is a snap. So I think we should do this. And then this way we can do it together, but I think we should do it in Christmas fabric. So I have my first row. I haven't pressed anything. What am I talking about? I'm pressing everything to the print or whatever your other fabric is. Two reasons. One, we don't get the shadowing of the white underneath. And 2, it just keeps us all in line. So now this one's not this one. Let's see. This one I think is this one here. Nope. Where did I go wrong? Did I go wrong somewhere this morning? It could have been. I don't think I did, but here it is. All right. Some of my rows I didn't label them. It's okay. That's why I had the design wall right there. So this is, yes. So once I line this up, I see that I've already starting my upside down V. So I'm coming in here again, pressing whatever new things that weren't a strip set together. And this. So by doing this, everything should nest. Since I pressed everything towards the print instead of the white, everything should nest. So I come in here and I find my center of the quilt, which is this upside down V. And I go ahead and I put this here, and then I can come in here, and yes, you do not have to pin if you don't want to. I'm choosing to pin because at this point there's too many squares going on. I would say if you had a day and you wanted to do this either singly cut and you have a lot of charm packs, you could do this quickly. You would have to fudge the charm packs though. If you had a day and you had some yardage or stash you have at home and you want to use it up, this would be pretty quick to put together. Now this is anything that's, you know, mind-blowing. This pattern, I feel this pattern has been around probably just as long as log cabin. You know, many people have different things. Like this one says trip around the block. I know it as trip around the world. Some people, I think, call it tote in a hole, something in a hole, barn door or barn window. Hi, Jessica. Something like that. So now that I've pinned this, and I'm going to make sure that it is there, now I could just take and put a seam right through. Now when I did my strip sets, to keep everything from being wonky, I did make sure that when I put the one strip onto the other, I sewed one way, but when I sewed the third strip, I sewed the other way. So I'm always sewing like this to kind of keep everything straight, because if I just do this, I end up with a strip that looks sometimes like that. So as we're sewing this by rows, we want to do the same thing. We want to make sure that we are sewing one way and then sewing the next strip the other way. I always get confused, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I goof up on it. I just try to remember to then do the next row. But you will get a more rectangular. In this case, it's a rectangular quilt, not a square. And yes, I could do a whole bunch of rows and then go in and do other rows, but I will say that I have a feeling if I do that, I may goof up. So it's just easier to do this. Hi, Aunt Beck. Ironing like you are doing is easier to make. Yes, because it all just lays right down. So I have this. Now, of course, if you have a larger iron surface like the one over there, it makes it easier as well. But we're just going to go ahead and use this and go for it. I haven't figured out how. There was a way I could get an iron above me. I was tall enough I could stand up, iron, and then sit back down. I don't think they make such a thing. All right. So now I am going to come in and press this. And for those who are really crazed about your points, this is the perfect time that you can adjust. Right now I'm looking pretty good. But you don't have to be crazy about your points. That's up to you, whatever your personal preference is. I feel like I'm doing good here. So now I have this set. And you see, I already forgot where I started. Oh, I started on here. So what I will sometimes do is take pins. So I know that I started on this. I sewed this down like that. I know now that when I put, oh, okay, this is the top. I know that when I put my next row, which is, the ends are yellow. Let me find ends that, here, ends that are yellow. Is this it? Yep. Okay. Now I know when I lay this down, and I just double check everything, I come in here, but I know that I sewed coming down this way. So I know now I have to sew this way, which means I'm going to pin this on this side if we want to keep ourselves all kind of straight. And I could go ahead right now and put this clip right there so I know that that's where I started sewing, on that side. And let's see, I goofed up on the type, I goofed up on this type of pattern too. Friends, don't forget the thumbs up. Well, thank you. So yes, oh, another thing is we have a lot of content coming out, great content coming out. I'm going to give Jessica a little thing right now. She has a paper craft out video. She's got that going on. Aunt Beck has a giveaway for one of her lives. And I'm kind of excited. I hit the notification button. So she has that going on. Annette just uploaded something that she got from Soft. I don't want to say what it is because then it's a surprise. She just uploaded something as well. Deb is on everybody's lives. I love Deb. Deb, so cool. So you can see all of Deb's stuff. And then, of course, Friday, she had her live this past Friday. Who else do we have on here? Hi, Rita. Rita's always sewing stuff up. Hi, Allison. For Christmas fabric, you will use a green background or which color? So you know what? I'm trying to figure out. Because I was sewing this morning and I thought, oh, this would be cool in Christmas fabrics. Now, I'll tell you, I have a lot of UFO sightings. I have lots of UFO sightings in my house from last year's Christmas. So this would be also good to back tack there. This doesn't have a border. I was thinking about that. It may be alternating. I don't know because I don't know what I'm picking. And so it could also doesn't have to all be one background. It could be maybe a yard of this and a yard of that. Two colors, right? Or it could just all be Christmas fabric. It doesn't even have to be a background. You know? It all depends on what stash I have to use. And if I will have time. Because honestly, I have the ginger quilter one that I'm doing, which is a Christmas one. And again, I have some UFOs I've got to finish up. I will show you at the end of the video my 'Tis the Season. It has not been quilted up yet. I decided I'm going to quilt it up with this background fabric that was sent to me that was holiday fabric. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. My honey said it was so beautiful. He really loved it. So here we are. We have this here, and I'm always looking because sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I trip myself up with these, thinking, oh, I could even go faster, but I do trip myself up. And I don't have much room to press here, so I'm going to do the best I can. So how many of you have tried a trip or something like this? Something like this. Who has, I know some people have done this using I Spy. I actually have a trip around the world that I named Trip Around the USA because it was all fabrics from different states, like what different states are known for. All right, so here we are. I have my third row on and I'm still have the V. Everything is a V. I also have my clips. So I know the first sew I sewed here, the second sew I sewed there. That means I have to sew on this side to keep everything square. And the next one I need is a white with the birds. White with the birds. So that's this. And I'm just going to come here and just double check that everything is laying the way it's supposed to. And being that I have to sew on this side, I am going to flip this and pin on this side. And what I'm going to do is put my clip there so that I mark that this is where I sewed on this side. I hope this is starting to make sense for some of you all. Let's see. True. So excited. I have all 20 of these 13 by 13 inch blocks for the disappearing 9 patch. They will all be put together today, finished, quilted, and done. Then I could start doing collages with slow sewing. Well, that's all exciting. And then I'm going to be making a puff quilt. Quilt hop fabric would look cool in this pattern. Yes. Yep. It would. I agree. So this is the most tedious part, is actually pinning it, because trying to get all these squares to lay. Okay, so we're not going to do Christmas themed trivia today. We're going to move on to, here we go. We're gonna go on a couple adventures here, some random adventures. And I can't see. Casper. So good morning, Casper. How to catch a snake for food. How to catch a snake for food. A, hit the snake with a rock to stunt it. Then pin its head to the ground by trapping it with a forked branch. B, jump on the snake's head to ensure it is dead and avoid getting poisoned. Or C, strangle the snake with a slip knot loop to avoid releasing the snake's poison into your own bloodstream. Those are your choices. Or D, I'm not eating a snake. I'm not wrestling with a snake. I'm just going to let the snake just live happily ever after, because I don't like snakes. So I ain't going near one. You can't pay me enough money to go near one. But A, Sherry's like D, Casper's like D. Yeah, definitely not touching that snake. Nope. No. And the idea of, why would you want to eat the snake if it has poison? Like, I don't know. I mean, I've heard of people eating rattlesnake. Rattlesnake? Yeah. But I don't want to eat anything that's going to poison me. So, no to the no to the no, no, no. All right. So now I've pinned this all. And we are going to come on down. Actually, if I do that, that makes it better. Gives me more stability. I'm going to make sure what is going on here. Here it is. And we have D for me. D, have eaten rattlesnake, and nope, not doing that anymore. They fry it. They do those big rattlesnake roundouts here in Arizona, Texas, and also Oregon. So the answer is A. And for those who would like to have snake, you want to catch a snake for dinner, this is what you would do. A, hit the snake with a rock to stunt it. Then pin its head to the ground by trapping it with a forked branch. So A, you got to find a rock. B, you got to find a forked branch. And C, you got to have enough courage to pin that sucker down. All right. And with that said, I am neither doing any of that. Here we are. How to survive an armed robbery. Now, this is useful, especially in New York City. Could have used that when I lived in the city. How to survive an armed robbery. A, do precisely as you are told and nothing more. Avoid eye contact. B, freeze and say nothing, just stare at the robber. Or C, talk to the robber, then attack when she or he lets his or her guard down. I love poppy cotton. I love the way it feels. I love everything about this right now. I will link down below the information on how to receive one of these boxes if you'd like one. We have, oh, hi, Jamie. Good morning. Jamie also has a new video out. She put out, I think, Saturday or Sunday. Another, I think, number 2 to her scrap challenge. We have A, D. Robber means dogs get a snack, at least in my house anyway. There you go. So the answer to this is A, do precisely as you are told and nothing more, and avoid eye contact. So now I'm going to take this and all my, now this pin, I pinned it together over here. I'm just going to loosen that up. I'm sewing it up right now. That's what Jamie's doing. She's sewing it up. So we have caught a snake, survived the armed robbery. How to get the skunk smell off your dog. How to get the skunk smell off your dog. A, soak the dog with tomato juice and rinse off after 20 minutes. B, soak the dog with vinegar and water and rinse off after 20 minutes. C, wash the dog with dish soap and water. The grease removing agent in the dish soap will help unlock the skunk's scent from your dog's fur. I feel like this just happened. I know this just happened to my daughter's dog. And I feel like that was not what the vet told them to do. I mean, the vet didn't say don't do this, but I think they did a different method to get the skunk smell out. Unless I misunderstood her. All right, so here we are. So we are now working on, and I keep looking and making sure that my V is still, my upside down V is still where it's supposed to be. So the next one is a bird on both ends. So this is a bird on both ends. There we are. Now because I sewed on this side, I know I need to stitch or sew this on this side. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pin this way. And I'm going to take one of my clips and clip here. And I'll know that I just sewed down that end. This is how I find to keep this from doing weirdo bows or any kind of things. I mean, it's good to do this anyway when you do any kind of quilts, right? Because you're always sewing quilts by rows, but in particular, this in particular. Let's see. I have A, keep the dog outside, but I do a combo of vinegar and splash of Dawn. Tomato juice is the answer. Hi, Anita. A different one today. So the answer is A, soak the dog with tomato juice and rinse off after 20 minutes. And that's actually what I've heard in the past. But I want to say my daughter said something about hydrogen peroxide. I'm not quite sure when her doggy because they just had this problem. But maybe I misunderstood her. She said something about after washing the dog to wipe. I think she said after washing the dog, she had to wipe it down on the outside and anything like, I don't know. I got to ask her. Because I feel like, I was like, oh, I thought it was tomato juice. Me too. That helps a lot. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to pass misinformation, so I don't. But I vaguely remember some peroxide had to do with something. There was something happening with hydrogen peroxide because I remember she said that she had to send him to the pharmacy, and that they had to get enough. But I could be wrong. I am gonna ask her because. All right, so now I pinned, and I have to sew on this side. Next, maybe she'll come on and she will. Right, I don't think you washed it in that. I thought she wiped something. So that's what I'm saying. I don't believe she washed the dog in that. So, somehow hydrogen peroxide came into the mix. I don't recall what. Because I always thought it was only tomatoes. But there was something. Unless she was talking about, you know what, it could have been that the dog got on her couch and she had to get something off the couch. It could have been that too. I just remember he had to go get a lot of hydrogen peroxide, and it all had to do with the dog getting in it with a skunk. It is a combination of a mixture of peroxide and Dawn dish soap. Oh, well, there you go. Rita just said. So so she says she believes it's a mixture of peroxide and Dawn dish soap. So there we go. I don't know. Everything is different nowadays sometimes. Okay, ready? The 3 keys to surviving penetrating external radiation after a nuclear attack. Now, how do they know this? The 3 keys to surviving penetrating external radiation after a nuclear attack. Who tested this out? A, time, distance, and shielding. B, cement, lead, and darkness. Or C, warm clothes, warm water, and zinc oxide. First of all, isn't zinc oxide sunscreen? Or a form of sunscreen? Oops. did this one wrong. There we go. No wonder it wasn't sitting flat. Let's see, can't wait to see what these answers are. B, we have a B. We have a lot of B's. Yes, it is a screen. 2 B's and no 2 B's, LOL. To be or not to be? That is the question. So the answer is A, time, distance, and shielding. Time, distance, and shielding. All right, so we have this, and I will put this on here. Again, you could do these in pairs. I've done it in pairs, but I also have goofed up doing that to try to save time. That actually ended up not saving time. So I'm going with the slow method of this. And then we have to, and you also always want to check that you've got that V, that upside down V going. All right, so we have that. Now I need to sew on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on here right now. There we are. And I need a blank with 5. Nope, that has a 5, a blank with 4, a blank with 5. Here we are. And when I say blank with 5, I mean a background with color number 5. See, because we're going to come in here and we're going to make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to. And you know what? This one wasn't pressed, so we're going to come in and press this one really quick. Some of them I pressed and some of them I didn't. Yep, that's all. Oh, nope. The slow and true method works. Yep. Did you finish the Christmas tree? Yes, I'm going to show that one here shortly. I'm going to be showing it. I did. I can't wait to throw it on the long arm. I was going to throw it on the long arm this morning, and I was like, I've got to finish this Creative Grids box. So I wanted to get it going. I'm just going to use this as my end piece. So here we go. Fun. This we could have used yesterday. How to build a fire in the snow. Because we had snow yesterday. How to build a fire in the snow. A, build the fire on a protective platform made with waterlogged rocks. B, build a platform out of logs in the snow. Then build the fire on the logs. C, never use dry tree bark as a platform. It will burn. Isn't that the whole reason? You want to build a fire? You want it to burn? Okay. But I guess I would have not been able to start a fire because I would have picked the wrong answer. Hi, Joe. How are you? We don't have snow in Missouri. You don't have it yet, huh? Well, we had snow. It was flurrying all day yesterday. We had recess, and I looked up how cold it was because it was like, why is it like freezing when the wind? So when the wind hit, it was 17 when it hit, and it was snowing around us. It was pretty. Kids don't get cold. It's the adults that get cold, honestly. Kids were happy, 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 happy. And here we are, we have my last one. And then I can go ahead and sew this one down. So I really think, since I started, this probably could be a 6-hour quilt top, maybe 4-hour quilt top, depending on how fast, you know, you are at cutting and stuff like that. It's doable. Let's see. Regina says, thunderstorms last night. Oh, we had a B. After your live, you had snow yesterday? Nice. I'm still dealing with 80-degree weather. Much better, thank you. Busy trying to get things done for today. And tomorrow it's back to 30 Celsius. Regina, our North Carolina winter has been cray-cray. Well, here too, because honestly, we get snow. It's very common to have snow in October, and we didn't have a lick of snow. So that is unusual. And they said this year was going to be terrible for snow. Everybody, all they're doing is saying how terrible it's going to be for snow. They said don't make any plans for Easter, our Easter break, our spring break, because we may not have a spring break because there's going to be so much snow. And I haven't seen it yet. Not that it's not going to come, but I think everybody's freaking out for no reason. Let's freak out when, like, we actually see that happening. My son did say, though, that the roads were very slippery and he had to work, had his sand and salt because it was slippery. I think we ended up with a 1/2 inch after all was said and done. And it's, I think, already gone, or it's blown. You know, it's that kind that blows around. Okay. So yes, so here we are. Oh, Thanksgiving Day. Well, someone yesterday was talking about Thanksgiving, and I was like, what do you mean it's this week? Because I'm like so lost in whatever it is. And they're like, no, it's next week, but I have to get ready this week. I was like, oh, I thought like I just somehow completely blocked the whole situation. Okay, so how to build a fire in the snow. The right answer is A. It says build the fire on a protective platform made with waterlogged rocks. Yes, with waterlogged rocks. Waterlogged rocks. A mouthful. Here we are. So now we have our next row we're working on. Oh, hi, Nikki. I was just thinking of you in my mind. I was thinking how I got a notification that you had update on Jack, and then I pressed it and I couldn't get it. So then I went to your thing and I saw a short, but that was like, doesn't even give me a date. It doesn't look like it's new. So, and I was thinking, exactly, you know, YouTube is killing me right now because I'm getting things so late. I don't know why I'm getting things so late, but I am. So now I have to sew on, oops, I took the thing off, didn't I? Yes, I did. I have to sew on this side here. So I'm just making sure that all this sewing. So here we are. So now I'm sewing with this big top and the little one at the bottom. And again, I am going to come in here and pin everything. And I will read. I have missed, I need to put this closer. So good morning. The almanac says less snow, more cold. Good morning. It's going to be almost 70 here today. Storms came through yesterday. There was so much hail in Columbia. It looked like it snowed. Oh, wow. Just waking up. Good morning, Linda. Do you starch your fabric before cutting? It looks a bit stiff. So the answer to that is no, I don't. But poppy cotton, which this is what it is a thicker fabric. I can't explain it. It's a thicker cotton. And so it just naturally feels, it does feel like a starched fabric. And it is easier to work with. So the answer is no to the starch. But I think starch would be great if you had other fabric that was maybe a little flimsy and soft. This just happens to be, naturally poppy cotton seems to me always to be thicker. And I love poppy cotton. I use poppy cotton when I can. I was excited to see that's what she sent. Because I used to collect all that stuff and I just don't anymore. I've just been sewing up what I have. So that was that question. Let's read some other things. I'm going to see my niece, a great niece, and some quilty friends in Tennessee for Thanksgiving. Then lost almost 3 weeks due to being sick. Oh no, I'm sorry. But you're still gonna go, right? Well, look at the positive side. You're going to go and you're going to have so much fun. How exciting is that? He is good. He's gained a little weight and his hemoglobin and white cells are good. Yes, well, you said that he was up 120, what was it, 128 pounds, did you say? What does he like to eat? Is there something he specifically likes to eat? Just curious. Here we are. Now I put that. And we're going to sew this one here. I'm so glad Jack is feeling better. I'm glad. See, I also put a clip on the side to start sewing the next. Yep. Just so it kind of keeps me straight. I've been using strings to make pouches. He likes IHOP. Aww. He loves potato chips and tacos. So can he eat whatever he wants? That's cute. Are you cooking up a whole bunch of tacos and stuff like that? Fatten him up like a Christmas turkey. I mean, a Christmas turkey, a Thanksgiving turkey. That's what we used to say. We had to fatten up my dad, too, when he was going through all his health stuff. He was a twig, and yeah, I was feeding that man whatever Puerto Rican food we can get in him. Oh, yeah, I can let my great niece down. She's so excited. Her 8th birthday falls on Thanksgiving days. Oh, that's good. He likes the shrimp at IHOP. Carbridge. Well, last night I made, what did I make? Let me move this out of the way because I can't. Okay. Last night I made a roast pork loin. I guess I should tell you what I did. I made barbecue sauce, okay? I made barbecue sauce, and we had gotten a lot of this My honey likes to buy things that are on sale at the grocery store, okay? And so at this grocery store, in the back is like a cart or a little box, and it's always whatever's there is 50% to or 75%, okay? And it's like things, it's not things that are expired, it's things that maybe are not selling in their store for whatever reason. Normally it's things that are really expensive, and so nobody buys them, I think, and then they end up putting them for 50 to 75% off. And then Nikki says no, because he has to be in the mood for his food, otherwise I end up pitching a lot of food, so we go out to eat depending on what he's craving. Gotcha. So so what was I saying? Oh, so what does he snack on? Doesn't he like to snack at home, or he's not even into the snacking? So anyway, so he bought this barbecue sauce, and one was whiskey inspired sauce. The man doesn't even drink, but whiskey inspired whatever, and bourbon, fruity and spicy and something like that. And then hi Andre. So he buys this stuff, and instead of like buying one or two, and like we're talking about it, like this barbecue sauce was some like, I don't know, $10 barbecue sauce, and he bought it for $2.50. Instead of just buying the barbecue sauce he likes, right? No, but I get it. He wants to try something different. So it tastes, I don't know, it doesn't taste good. And he bought a lot of this sucker. He bought, like, I'm not even joking, he went and bought, I don't know, instead of just buying 1 or 2 bottles, he bought something like, and I was with him that day. I wasn't helpful too. I probably, it's like, oh, that sounds good, but it wasn't good. So we had a bunch of bottles. So yesterday I came home and I'm like, well, we have to use this up, because right now the way things are, with everything being the way they are, right? Everything's more expensive, everything is tight. We just got to use up what we got. So I come home and he's got about, I don't know, because he bought so many different flavors from this, like they had the whole collection there. So he bought all these different flavors. And so what I did is I started putting it all in a pot. I think I took 3 different kinds. They were all either bourbon, whiskey, I don't know, Tennessee this, Georgia that, you know, whatever. Stuck it all in a pot, tasted it, and was like, I thought maybe putting the 3 together, one would balance out the other. Yeah, not so great. It was still, I mean, it was, the barbecue sauce, I shouldn't say that. The barbecue sauce was fine. It just, the aftertaste of the alcohol I did not like. So, what I did was I just started put on my chef hat, and I'm like, how can I counteract some of these flavors and make this be delicious? So I ended up putting mustard, Dijon mustard, molasses, brown sugar. What else did I put in there? Molasses, brown sugar. Yeah, I did that. Mixed that all up, tasted it. Okay, I'm like, oh, it needs something to still counteract. Tastes good, but it still has that little bit of whiskey bourbon aftertaste that was just, I don't know if it was an artificial, I don't know. So I'm like, the thinking cap went on. I was like, we're going with peaches, because peaches and bourbon and peaches and whiskey are a great combination together. So I had some peach, like some canned peaches, and I stuck the peaches with the peach juice right into that sucker. I took my immersion blender, blended the whole thing up, boiled it down for about an hour. OMG, that was freaking tasty. I just had to put on the thinking cap. It was really, really good. So I'm thinking, okay, so because peaches go really well, right? Peaches go well with whiskey, bourbon, and pork. So then I took my big pork loin, put that in the pan, cut up. We had a ton of apples because he went on an apple spree. So we had all different kinds of apples, and then he's been on me about making apple pie. It was like, well, we're having it with the roast pork. So I have the pork loin. Try this. It's really good. I put the pork loin there. I took, I don't know, 4 or 5 apples. I sliced them, put them all around the pork loin. And then I took an onion, sliced that, put that on there, and then I poured the barbecue sauce on the top. And it was in one of those Corral, you know, the old fashioned Corral casseroles with the white lid. So I stuck that in the oven without the lid for the first hour, and then I put the lid on it for the second hour. And OMG, that was so delicious. It just melted. It was so good. So we had that with asparagus, and then I baked sweet potatoes because the oven was on, and we had sweet potatoes. We're trying to get away. All this is because we're trying to get away get away from all the carbs. So Nikki says chips. He likes the Trader Joe's. I went and bought him more yesterday, and he was having chemo, and he is on a pie kick. Right now, it's apple pie. Oh, that's great. On Saturday, I made a batch of Russian tea mix, hot chocolate mix, and last night I made a double batch of Chex Mix. What's Russian tea mix? I don't know what Russian tea mix is. He had brats and sauerkraut for breakfast. Hey, whatever he wants. I'm coming to y'all's house. I don't enjoy cooking, but I love eating. All right, so the next thing that we have on here, and I can't do the next thing, but it is the last row, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So this is the last row. So you're gonna make 2 sections of this, okay? And we're gonna sew this up on here like that. And let me double check, because if I don't double check, you know, I'll have some weirdness happen. So I'm going to put this here. So this again, so you're gonna need 2 quadrants of this, or 2 sections, and that will make your quilt. Let's see, Russian tea is Tang Lipton tea with lemon sugar, Ceylon cinnamon, ground cloves, and a pinch of nutmeg. Ooh, that sounds good. I buy apple and mini raspberry. So here we are. Let's see. I like the Sam's Club pies. The small ones have too much crust. Next, he wants pumpkin pie with lots of Cool Whip. Well, that Sam's Club pumpkin pie is not bad. I bought that, and I've had the apple. Because, yes, I'm a chef, but, yes, I don't want to cook 24/7 when I could be wanting to maybe quilt. But yesterday I did feel like making, like I said to him, we're eating everything that's here right now. Everything. We're reinventing. Because the truth of the matter is, if you don't eat up what you got in your cupboards, it's going to go to waste, right? It'll expire. Part of it was I was cleaning recently, and I found 3 expired things in my pantry, and then that sparked we can't waste food, this is crazy. So 3 things. What were the 3 things? I can't remember what the 3 things were, but yes. You sift it all together, mix, pour into jars, make a mug of hot water, add a heaping tablespoon, adjust the taste, and it's packed with oh, that sounds so good. I remembered something similar to that drink. It was Tang instant tea and Red Hots. I can't have any, all my tea has to be decaffeinated, so, which is what I have here. This is, I do not cook. This here is the apple cinnamon Celeste seasonings that was sent to me in here, plus apple cider. And that's super yummy. Chicken bone broth and a rump roast for Sunday. Well, tonight, what are we having tonight? I think I'm gonna do pasta because believe it or not, you know, we ate, it was so good. We ate that for dinner. I'm gonna take it for lunch. He's gonna take it for lunch and then it's done. So tonight I'm going to make a sausage. I think I'm gonna do a sausage ziti. I think that's what I'm gonna do today, is a sausage ziti. I gotta get this going because I gotta show you that quilt, and I gotta get myself in the shower here. We drink large amounts of green tea with peach flavor. I love that. I love peach. Where do you get peach though? Decaffeinated peach green tea. I want some of that. Decaffeinated green tea that's peach. I'm a peachy kind of gal. I mean, yesterday, if we didn't have those apples, I was gonna dump another 1 or 2 cans of peaches with the onions, but we had all those apples to use up, so. And I'm glad I did that. It was amazing. Amazon, oh. Leanna, in 1985, I discovered that caffeine was a migraine trigger, so I make it for others. Probably could get decaf Lipton tea. I love apple cinnamon also. I think it's seasonal here, but I buy a lot of it. So this right here. I'm not going to iron this last one because I'm running out of time. So here is the quadrant that we have. I'm going to span you over to the design wall to show you this, and then to show you my Christmas tree quilt. Oh. Here we are. So here is the first, this will go on the bottom. See, this is gonna just get turned and it's just gonna go on the bottom of this here. This is so springy. I'm in the mood for sewing Christmas, but I do like that I did this springy thing. Okay. Let's go, let me go grab this. So when I did what they told me to do, I have 2.5-inch strips left over, and this was sent for binding. So here is, it's big. This sucker is ginormous. Here it is. So I put the border on it. And here is the top. Oops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here's that. I can't. It's so big. Hold on. Here we go. I don't have enough arm span. We have that. I know I'm probably. We have that. And we have that. I'll have to take a picture of it. Of course, now I have everything on the floor. It's all good. I'll redo it when I get home. Whoa, that was wild. Twinings makes a wonderful seasoning decaf winter tea. Apples. Ooh, I want that. That sounds delicious. Wait, what happened to Anita? Oh, yes, Joe, I'm food intolerant. Oh. That's huge. Yes, it is. It is ginormous. Ginormous. So big. So I'm excited. Honey's like, when is that going on our bed? I said, not until after Thanksgiving. Well, first of all, I got to figure out how to get it long arms right now. So, and there's only so much time in the day. With that said, if everyone wouldn't mind on your way out hitting the thumbs up button. And thank you for joining me. I hope to see you tomorrow. And so if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. And I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.